Hi, I'm Jacob Coakley, editor of Stage Directions magazine, and welcome to the video editor's note for May of 2015. I'm recording this on April 23rd, the deadline for a show to open on Broadway to be eligible for the 2015 Tony Awards. So the past week has seen a flurry of activity as show upon show upon show has tried to beat the deadline and make it into the race. Let's look at that for a second. Consider that after Honeymoon in Vegas opened at the Nederlander on January 15th, it was exactly 2 months before the next Broadway musical opened, on the 20th Century at the American Airlines Theater. Then there was a 3-week lull between On the 20th Century and Gigi, the next musical to open, on April 8th. But between April 8th and April 23rd, 9 Broadway musicals opened. That's 9 big blockbuster Broadway musicals in the space of 15 days. Obviously, not all of these shows are going to make it. Honeymoon in Vegas has already closed, and it opened to amazing reviews. On the other hand, Finding Neverland, which opened to okay reviews, is doing decent box office and has already announced a national tour. By that logic, Dr. Zhivago, which opened to not good reviews, should do great. Who knows? Openings don't mean anything. Staying power does. Which got me thinking about what musicals still have staying power with me. Which musicals have stood the test of time? What musicals blew my mind when I first heard them and influenced my tastes for years to come? Which musicals still exert influence over my tastes? I don't know if I'd rate these best musicals ever or even my favorite musicals anymore, but these 3 shows exerted a huge influence on me and sent me scurrying down a rabbit hole to find anything that sounded like them. May every show that opens this season have the same effect on someone. First up, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolour, yeah, you all know the long title. This was the first album I ever owned, and it was the 1969 concept album. So it's still a little weird for me to hear a female sing the narrator part. And no, I don't remember the name of all the sons. Not gonna lie, I'm a child of the 80s, and this was the album that primed me for the British invasion of musicals. All those big synths and big sounds and big spectacle, I loved it, and it was all because of this. Next up, Sunday in the Park with George. This was my introduction to Sondheim. Well, West Side Story was my introduction to Sondheim, but this was my introduction to Sondheim as a genre unto himself. It blew my mind about what musicals could be. Its intellectualism, combined with a keen and devastating emotional intelligence, plus the knockout performances of Mandy Patinkin and Bernadette Peters, it's a legend for a reason, and I was hooked. Finally, Avenue Q. I had to be convinced to see this show about puppets in their 20s, and I'm glad that I was. Bawdy, funny, touching, this show does a great job capturing the uncertainty and expansiveness of life, as well as sharing what it takes to lead a good one. It was fun, it was fresh, and it still has a sense of joy and experimentalism that I search for in any new show. There are many more musicals that I love for a whole host of reasons, and I'm not even sure where these would rank on my list of all-time favorites. But these were 3 that were incredibly important and touchstones in my life. And that's me. Tell me in the comments what musicals, or even plays, were influential in your life. See you next month.